Hola. Welcome to Language Listening Studio. My name is Amy. On this channel, we learn English by listening. We speak slowly. We use simple words. We use short sentences. Today, we will review last week's world agenda. We will look at the most important events: politics, economy, science, technology, climate, society. Do not worry if you miss some words. Just keep listening. You can listen again. You can repeat again. Are you ready? Let us begin. This week, three big topics stood out in the world. First, there were geopolitical tensions. Second, there was the link between technology and the economy. Third, there were natural events and the climate agenda. In the Arctic region, there was a new tension. The debate about Greenland grew. At the start of the week, the language was hard. But in the middle of the week, diplomacy stepped in. Talks in Davos lowered the tension. At the same time, a space risk also came to the agenda. There was a strong explosion on the sun. This caused a radiation storm on Earth. This means risk for satellite systems. Flights and radio communication can also be affected. The modern world depends on satellites. So, space weather has become a security topic. On the economy side, global growth was discussed. International institutions shared forecasts for 2026. AI investments support the economy, but trade limits and protectionism create costs. These two forces work at the same time. So the world economy looks mixed, but it also looks resilient. The last important theme of the week was climate and nature finance. New reports showed something clear. Investments that harm nature are very big. Investments that protect nature stay smaller. So, there is a gap between words and real money flows. This makes climate goals harder. Quick summary: the 10 most important developments. 1. The Greenland crisis softened. The US government moved toward a hard line on Greenland. This created worry in Europe. Later, talks were held in Davos. After that, the tone became softer. A security-based framework was discussed. The crisis did not grow for now, but the issue is not fully closed. 2. The global growth debate. An IMF update. A new global outlook was published. Growth is expected to stay at a medium level. AI investment raises productivity in some countries. This can support growth. But trade wars and tariff debates create risks. Inflation slows in some places. Still, the cost of living is a key issue in many countries. 3. The solar storm and critical infrastructure. A strong event was seen on the sun. Its effects reached Earth. In some regions, radio communication may weaken. Satellites may face risks. Flight routes and navigation can also be affected. This event increased the importance of space weather. 4. The US left the World Health Organization. The US ended its membership. This may create a gap in global health systems. The US was a major source of funding. Vaccination programs and outbreak monitoring may be affected. Some countries may seek more support. This decision increased the debate about multilateral cooperation. 5. Political uncertainty in Venezuela. Big change was discussed in the government side. There are talks about a political transition. Social unrest and a power struggle continue. Neighbor countries increase border security. Energy markets also watch these developments. 6. The debate about U.S. influence in Latin America. A new direction is discussed in the region. In some countries, the theme of security and order is getting stronger. The role of the U.S. came back to the agenda. This increased the debate about a new era. The political balance in the region can change fast. 7. The Nature Finance Report. A big imbalance. New reports say that money flows that harm nature are huge. Fossil fuels and systems that stress the environment attract a lot of money. Projects that protect nature get less funding. This imbalance makes climate goals harder. So, people talk about the need for change in the finance system. 8. AI and creativity research. A large study said AI did well in some tests. It seems strong in average creativity. But in top-level creative ideas, humans are still ahead. This is important for business. Some creative jobs may change. AI may be used more as a helper tool. 9. The Sundance Film Festival agenda. The Independent Film Festival started. It is important for new films and new directors. It also shapes cultural discussions. The debate about digital platforms and cinemas continues. The festival is a place to feel the pulse of the industry. 10. The NAMM Show and Music Technology. The Music Technology Fair took place. New devices and new tools were presented. A clear trend stood out. People like systems with a touch feeling. Products that combine an analog feel with digital control are increasing. Music production becomes faster and more accessible. Politics and geopolitics. Security and crises. This week, the security agenda was very intense. One of the biggest areas was the Arctic. The Greenland crisis created tension between allies. Hard statements increased uncertainty. Later, talks started. Diplomacy lowered the tension. This showed something important. Global relations can change fast, and even alliances can be tested. In Latin America, security was also strong. Developments linked to Venezuela affect the region. There is tension between some groups and political actors. Border security measures are rising. Instability can put pressure on migration and the economy. In Eastern Europe, war and energy infrastructure remain on the agenda. In winter, energy lines and systems are more fragile. So, energy security is both a military and an economic issue. Diplomacy and domestic politics. Davos meetings were widely discussed because Davos is not only about the economy. It is also about politics and diplomacy. Countries send messages there. Companies also present strategy there. Some leaders defended free markets. Others stressed strategic independence. So, there is a tension between globalization and protectionism. This tension affects both trade and security. In the US, domestic politics are active. Midterm election preparation continues. Internal party debates are discussed. The economy and cost of living can affect voter behavior. International institutions. The US leaving the World Health Organization is the biggest event in this part. This decision can affect global health governance because risks like pandemics do not respect borders. If cooperation gets weaker, some countries may be more alone. Also, arms control agreements are watched. Some deadlines are getting closer. If there is no new deal, uncertainty can rise, and this can increase security risks. Economy and finance. The general picture. The global economy looked two-sided this week. On one side, there are technology investments. AI and digitalization help companies grow. On the other side, there are trade limits. Tariffs and protectionist moves create costs. Because of this, some sectors grow fast. Others struggle. Markets price this split. Technology companies attract more attention. But this attention can also bring the risk of too much expectation. Energy and commodities. When the Greenland tension softened, markets saw a short relief. Energy prices react strongly to geopolitical news. But long-term trends also matter. Demand, supply, and production policy shape prices. Gold is seen as a safe place in many countries. When uncertainty rises, interest in gold rises. In Turkey, inflation expectations also affect investor behavior, companies, and regulation. Big tech companies now see AI as a main topic, not only a product. It becomes part of the business model. This fast change also moves regulators. Data security, competition, and monopoly debates continue. Science and technology. Space weather. This week, space became a clear topic. The solar storm showed infrastructure risks. Satellites are critical for communication, maps, and security. So, space weather events are watched more closely. Health science and medicine. In some countries, gene therapy and new biotech steps are discussed. Faster approval paths for rare diseases are targeted. The aim is to reach more people. Chemical pollution is also discussed. The environment is directly linked to health. AI and the workforce. AI research is growing fast. This week, creativity was a key topic. In some tasks, AI performs well, but the human ability for deep meaning still matters. The best model may be human plus AI cooperation. Health and society. This week, health had two sides. One side was global institutions and funding debates. The other side was regional crises and humanitarian problems. In some places, winter conditions make health problems worse. Children and older people are affected more. Vaccination campaigns and basic health services become harder. New pain medicines and work to reduce addiction risk are also discussed. This can be hopeful for big problems like the opioid crisis. In education, digital literacy becomes more important. Many people must live with technology. So, basic digital skills are seen as a need. Climate, nature, and disasters. This week, weather events also drew attention. In some places, there was extreme cold. In other places, there was heavy rain. This shows that seasonal norms are changing. Disasters and accidents brought infrastructure safety back to the agenda. Safety rules in tourism areas were discussed. Transport accidents also highlighted resilience. The key climate message came from finance. Investments that harm nature are very large. Investments that protect nature stay smaller. If this gap does not close, goals will be hard to reach. Energy and environment. Energy policy stayed a debate topic this week. The Arctic is strategic because of resources. Critical minerals and energy reserves matter. Sea trade and sanctions were also discussed. Some countries watch energy shipping more strictly. This can affect markets and law. There is also competition in renewables. Production, exports, and trade deals are on the agenda. Clean energy goals often depend on politics, culture, media, and the intellectual agenda. Two big events stood out. One was Sundance. The other was the NAM Music Technology Meeting. Sundance highlights independent cinema. It offers new stories and new views. It shows where the sector is going. NAM shows new tools for music production. The trend is clear. People want more touch and more ease. Technology tries to support humans without tiring them. Regional balance. North America, domestic politics, foreign policy, and institutions are discussed at the same time. Europe, security and energy pressure continue. NATO internal debates are also important. Middle East, humanitarian crises and security problems continue. Africa, security, migration, and economic change happen together. Asia Pacific, China and India stand out through growth and technology. Latin America, after Venezuela, the balance can change. A new left-right balance may form. Watch list. The future of major nuclear arms agreements. Big cultural events and award season topics. elections, and regional political change, inflation expectations and central bank messages in Turkey, climate finance and funds for nature protection. Transparency note. This text is based on international institution reports, official statements, and trusted news agencies. The goal is to summarize the most important events of the week in a clear and simple way. That's all for World This Week. What happened? Thank you for listening and practicing with me today. See you in the next episode. Sending love from Language Listening Studio. Take care and goodbye.